welcome back to Dan's Dyslexia. It's Sunday the 6th of June, and this is my weekly channel update, and it's kind of it's kind of dawned on me that I'm not going to be able to do a weekly update every week, because of two reasons. Mainly, life is getting in the way sometimes, and I'm not always sure what to talk about in the sort of slot at the end. So it adds an awful lot of stress, so I'm going to kind of put something on my Discord for sort of conversation points to sort of help me out. But say logistically, it's just not always going to be a thing. So I'm doing one this week, and I'm going to stick to it this week, obviously. That's why I'm here. But there might be weeks that I don't actually get to do a weekly update. But I kind of need to just say that because that's how my mind works. I kind of think that everyone's expecting one. I know you're not, but in my head, it's like if I don't do it, then everyone's going to, oh, he's become really lazy. How dare he take a day off? So they're not going to be every week, but there still will be a weekly. I'm still going to try to do a weekly video, if that makes sense, like this, but it just might not happen every week. So some Sundays there might be something else in. So today's agenda, that sounds very formal, but I'm going to go through, obviously, the games I've played. Only 2 played this week. Books are 69, and that includes books that have been sent to me and books that I've bought. I'm not going to go through 69 books, but I'll explain when I get to that section, because I think, looking at my notes, there are 12 books for me to actually go through. The other 57 I'll explain when we get there. I've got 2 Kickstarters to talk about, which are very exciting, and a half Kickstarter time. It's technically 3, but I can't really show you the third. And then, yeah, so okay, let's just start then with the games played. The only 2 played this week. My playing time has dramatically dropped off. I think it's just time, really. Having a family and trying to record stuff, business works sometimes does get in the way. So I did we're carrying on with Soulbound, which I'm starting to settle into now. But Neil, we had this sort of big epic fight towards the end of the session. And Neil, unbeknownst to me, had decided that he didn't want to play his character anymore. So I don't know whether him and Paul had a conversation around he wants his character to die. But I was doing everything I could to keep his character alive. I was forgoing attacks. He basically was just... I even flew in to go and save him from this warped tree that was about to kill him. Gave up my actions, which meant it risked other people in the party to pick him back up, to fly him back out, and then he just ran straight back in again and then died. I don't know. That's you don't sort of meta stuff going on outside, but yeah, it was funny. It was very funny, but kind of as I could have said, and I was saying that I'd have might have killed the tree, so he might have still lived, but the outcome was perfect, I would guess. And then on Tuesdays, we had another session of Horde Wars Advanced, which is incredibly fun. Andy actually rang me yesterday saying, I'm really enjoying Horde Wars, and I think everyone is. And I just did a mini one-shot because we did the first adventure. Well, started off the campaign. One player was away, so I did a pre-story of just getting together. And oh boy, rolling a d12 can make a huge amount of difference in deadliness for combat. Because I just had this little map and had a variety of different creatures, and it was all going quite well. And it's not balanced, but there's this wonderful thing where you're kind of discovering what the characters do, how the players work, and they're using these little sort of tactics to. Because, for example, Paul always dodges the first attack just because of his ability, and so does Andy. And we got to this situation where Rob's character was sort of stuck out on his own a little bit. Saying that, Andy had been a little bit sensible, and he'd sort of I've got a pet wolf, so we'd sort of built a bit of distance. He's got a bow. And you're rolling a d12 in this system, and a 12 is a natural crit, and it just doubles damage. And I rolled 2 12s in a row on Rob's character, which is quite a squidgy assassin character. And oh boy, it was like squeaky bum time. We were like, he's going to go down here. Because I roll all of my rolls in the open. I don't believe in changing dice rolls. I don't believe in... the only thing I may do, if combats are going either too long or it seems too easy, I have been known, if it's to adjust hit points on the fly. That's occasionally I will do that, but more often than not, the combat is the combat. You foreshadow it, and sometimes you might hint that maybe they should just try to sort of get themselves out of the situation. But that's it. What have I got? I think it's the same next week. I have got Shadow Dark is hopefully happening tomorrow, but I think I'm at least 2 players down, and we're kind of at the point where I kind of want to just get this section done. So I'm not sure. I'm going to talk to the players later, and then we'll see what goes on from there. But I've got a couple of Kickstarters to talk about. I also had my first ever interview, and that's not a job interview. That is someone from another channel wanting me on their channel to talk about me and Dungeons and Dyslexia, which was the bizarrest thing, because I can't think of any reasons why anyone would want me on their channel. Because, I interview people. It's interesting finding out things about other people. And yeah, I actually had an absolute wonderful time setting on. It went out live on Twitch on John. I'm never going to pronounce your name, so I think the best way to do it is just show your Twitter. John, I don't know. Legitamine, I think he writes this game, Metanthropes, which we talked about during the interview, actually. It does sound quite interesting. I think it was recently put on Kickstarter. But yeah, went out live on Twitch. A couple of people joined me. It was good. We said we'll do it again. So yeah, I actually really enjoyed that. I didn't really know what to expect from someone actually wanting to sit down and interview me. It was kind of weird, but it's actually creating the conversation point at the end of this video, which will be relatively short because there's lots of other stuff that I'm going to be talking about. But we came to the conclusion that I'll explain when we get there. It's around hobbies, and kindred spirits was, I think, the expression that John used. Okay, so I've got 2 Kickstarters I want to talk about that are going live this week coming up. They're going head to head, which is quite cool, and they are good friends as well. So we've got Righteous Vow Volume 3 by Bill Havett, and I've already reviewed 1 and 2. 1 is one of my favourite first level adventures I've ever read. It's absolutely brilliant. It's so interesting how it works. I'm not going to tell you what goes on in it. You're going to have to go and watch my video or review. Saying that, I think most weekly people probably watch a lot more of my videos than people just jumping into the weeklies. And Righteous Vow 2 is really good. And, we have been joking, is this going to be going on and actually make the perfect trilogy? Is it going to be the Lord of the Rings trilogy? Really is what we're looking at. Was it? I can't even remember now. I was going to say Attack of the King. I'm confusing a Star Wars film. I know Return of the King. Yeah. And Attack of the Clones was the second one anyway, wasn't it? So that would be Revenge of the King? Return of the Jedi. Return of the Sith. That would go. Anyway. So that they're both going live on it's the 8th, so 2 days from now. Both go live at the same time. They're going head to head. They are friends. The other one that's going on at the same time is Sapphire of Seas, which is by Will MB, he's just done ShadowFinder, which I'm going to be covering today. I've done a review of it as well, which goes live tomorrow, or is already live, obviously, depending when you play this. So yeah, these are Righteous Vows 1 and 2, really good. So the third volume, Bill's actually coming onto my channel, and we're going to go live on Tuesday the 8th. I don't know whether he's going to start the Kickstarter project live, but come and join us. I'm going to be interviewing Bill, talking about 1 and 2, and what we can expect in 3. I don't know whether he's just going to turn the Kickstarter live at the same time or not. We shall see. But around about the same time, say, Williams is going out. Will and Bill, annoying. I'm going to get it the wrong way around. But this is a complete 1st to 10th level adventure for ShadowDark. Because Will tends to do all his books, which are fantastic. So look, he's got 44 that he's created on Kickstarter so far. But all his books tend to be separate missions that you can combine into something. So I'm quite excited to see this, because this looks like it's going to be a whole adventure for 1st to 10th level. 350 pages, 14 islands, 20 dungeons. So, and his dungeon, the drawing on his dungeons are amazing. What we've got in Righteous Vow, because I haven't looked at this yet, because I don't want to know too much because of, you know, into sitting down and interviewing with Bill. So, but we've got the Mountain Dragon Brood. He did send me some artwork. Actually, we've seen this. So this is the art that I've seen and shown off. Okay, so that's really cool looking. And then the other one that we got coming is on the 15th, which is Chubby Funster's latest Kickstarter that's coming out. It's called Shadow City. It's based on ShadowDark and one of my all-time favourite games. It was hinted at in the interview I did with him. Vampire the Masquerade. Okay, so I can announce it now. On the 15th, Chubby's going to come live, like Bill's doing, onto my channel on that Tuesday night. We're going to interview, talk about the project. I've been playtesting it with my Sunday group, so I've got a good level of experience of what's going on in the book. I'm really excited for this one because, say, Vampire the Masquerade, it was a game that sort of exploded like Dungeons and Dragons role-playing in the 90s. Kind of divided one for another video, I think. But yeah, it's really exciting to see this, and that one's going live. So we've got 3. If you're into ShadowDark, you've got 3 big Kickstarters coming. Actually, there's a 4th one, and I'm going to explain the 4th one once I get into the books that I've bought, which actually is going to come now. Okay, so those are the Kickstarters. So what I want to do now is just let's get over and look at the books that have been bought, and I can explain then, well, books that have been bought and sent, obviously. So this is, as I think I call it, what is it, my preview review, because these are things that I will be reviewing at some stage in the future. So let's just, I'm going to start off with this. I've been sent an update by Micah of AetherDark. Now, if I've recorded a review with him. It's going to come out this coming Saturday. This is a 306 page. Actually, I covered all of the books in the interview because he sent me, there's 12, 13, 14, 15 books in the current Kickstarter. He has taken 8 pledges. This basically is Spelljammer converted to ShadowDark. Not quite. It's better than that, because the 5th edition version of Spelljammer. But this, in essence, is what's in it. So I'm going to just show you what's included. We've got stats for crews and leveling up the crews, loads of ships, buying ships, modifications, gameplay rules, which isn't a lot. It's about 12, 13 pages. A lot of travelling rules, advice for the games master, the ether itself, which is obviously the world and travelling. And then you've got this wonderful section here for randomly creating worlds, generating worlds, the trade that they do, the people on there. It's just, you can use this for anything, realistically. It kind of dawned on me, if you've played Traveller, either 1st or 2nd edition, this is very similar to Traveller. And then it's just, the artwork is brilliant. He's done all this himself. It's just him. And it's taken late pledges. The $20, you can get all 15 books, which, as I said to Mike, I was like, yeah, I think you priced that wrong. And he was like, yeah, you know, the amount of value that you're going to get out of this for $20 is incredible. So here's the different types of ships and how they sort of generate through space and stuff. Absolutely brilliant. So something I bought, which is the Maggot Machine, which is by Nightfall Games, my good friend Jared over here. There, it seems to be from Mortborg. That's all I know is that I was like, okay, I'll just go and pick it up and have a look at some stage, because they did, well, on Nightfall Games, Slay Industries 1st and 2nd edition, and then they did Slayborg, which was a good tongue-in-cheek version of, well, Mortborg and Slay Industries. So I kind of wanted to pick this up. I haven't even had a chance to look at it as yet. I say, but getting, what is it, 69 books this week? It's been a little bit chaotic, but artwork's really good. Layout, I like the green background. I do like that. It does make it quite easy just to look through. Okay, so I've then got this zine by Erudite GM, who is a friend of mine on Twitter. He's supported the channel. He's got his own YouTube channel as well. Again, I'll put links down to his video. Erudite DM, sorry, I always get it the wrong way around. And I'm not going to show you this one because this one isn't released, but he sent me 2 books. There's this and Warhorse, which I will show. I'll show more of Warhorse. But this, as you can imagine, actually I'll just go on a page so you can see what's in here. It's a 49-page zine, purely for ShadowDark. It's a little bit, actually, I think you could probably easily adjust this to most old school stuff, just based on saints. And so it's got a variety of different saints in here, some sort of like new gods, magical weapons, some classes specifically for ShadowDark. And then it does come with an adventure with some dungeons in at the back of the book, which is really good. So yeah, there's that one. And then here's other one we've got, which I'll show in a second. Salvage and Sorcery, which is Scraps Hounds of Cygnus, I think is how it's pronounced, which is a science fiction game of magic and mayhem, which actually has been sent to me by Alex T, who I can't remember, the Machine Gods of the Nexus Expanse and the Single Dungeon Curse. I always go to write these things down. I go, no, I don't need to write this down. And I remember. 1 second. I know where stuff is on my shelf. And this Kernethelus, he sent me a copy. He sent me a couple of books last week. And then he sent me this, which I've had a quick flick through. And like all of his books, the art is absolutely amazing. But in this book, you're going to play a part of a salvage crew that's going around on this Thanatos station, I think. And player characters are salvaging items and going around the worlds and different areas as far as I can work out. So briefest of look as this, but I did get to the simple rules bit. I was like, oh, well, I wonder how his works, because a lot of his the books that I've looked at have been D20s, D6 dice pool system. I'm in. I love rolling D6 pools. It's a really good. Well, I love rolling pools in general. What have we got? Oh, okay. Agility, luck, intelligence, melee, perception, range, strength, willpower. Okay, that's cool. And the artwork, these things are bloody brilliant. And that's really good. Didn't get this far in. The thing I found with the 2 books I've read, they're so different, and these worlds are really good. Talking of Will Bien, MB, I should say. Let's get his name correct. This is his 521-page conversion of all of the bestiaries for Pathfinder 1 to 6 in one massive tome. The first 30 pages are the contents. This is how big this book is, which I'm going to skip through. And this is it. The rest of the book is just alphabetized. It's not quite final, because as you can see, there's little bits of white places, so it does need, I think it's going to need a bit of a layout adjustment and sort of pulling around. But there's over 1,800 monsters, stats, creatures, NPC type people in here. It's such a massive project, and it's so nice to actually see it finished and done. I think, I'll say in my review, I think every Games Master should pick this up if you're running ShadowDark. I think even players should pick this up as well. It's great. Who doesn't need just a massive amount of monsters, stats, creatures, and NPCs? Now, I did say there was 3 Kickstarters that everyone's going to need to buy if you're a fan of ShadowDark, and this is the 4th. This is the sneaky one. This is written by Will from Runeforged, who is a good friend of mine, who's got his own YouTube channel as well. He covers an awful lot of ShadowDark stuff. Absolutely brilliant. He created this, wrote this, he sent it to me, and in all honesty, I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, and I'm not going to go any further. I'm just there plugging it because he's a good friend of mine, and I want you to support him. And I think everyone's going to support him because his YouTube channel is brilliant. But this is, he tells me, it's based in the time of Arthurian legend. So you're going to get King Arthur, things like that in the book. I say this isn't a finalized version. It's 0.5, hence the reason why I'm not showing any more than this. It's currently showing 84 pages, so it's an adventure sort of campaign world setting. But yeah, go and support him. Once it's live, obviously once it's finished, I'll do a proper review for him. And once it's live, I'll let you know or know in the socials, okay? Then got Cursed Place, which is by Terry, and I've done a review of this. This absolutely blew me away. It's only a little 10-page little zine adventure for 4th level characters that can be easily slotted in anything, and it's all about werewolves. The players end up probably being somewhere they shouldn't, and the werewolves then send them off. They go, okay, if you want to stay in our sacred land, you got to do something for safe passage. So you can either have big encounter fight there, foreshadow it, the players are probably going to die, or you can maneuver them into doing what they're meant to do. And it's only a little cave encounter, but it's really good the way it's actually laid out. There's a nice little twist because this cave is cursed from a werewolf point of view as to why it's cursed. I don't want to say any more. Go and watch my review and pick it up and then play it. Okay, so we've then got The Good, the Bad, and the Savage, which is by, again, another one of my friends, Troy Meppians, who wrote Ashlands for the Yellow Hand, which is brilliant. And this is a serious Western, kind of serious, because obviously it's written for Savage Worlds Adventure Edition. And you go, why do I need that? I've got Deadlands. Well, Deadlands it's Western, but it's kind of fantasy Western, isn't it? You know, people have got a lot of hit points. I say it's not hard to die, but it's harder to die. And this is a setting that's inspired by Boot Hill, which is one of the best Western games money can buy. Well, you can't buy because I don't think you can find it. It's been out of print. It was a TSR product. That's how old it was, and a very good product. That had 3 editions. Old style GURPS, Westerns. So this is more movie in style, but a lot more serious, a lot more deadly Westerns around, gunfights, things like that. So I'm looking forward to actually getting this reviewed because I like Deadlands, I like Savage Worlds, and sometimes I do actually want to get away and actually play a more serious Western. And there aren't many serious proper Westerns out there. And obviously, because this uses the Suede rules, which is going to lead to swingy combat with that exploding dice, it's going to be great fun. Terry then sent me, who wrote The Cursed Place, he then sent me The Signal, and there's 2 of these. There is one for Mothership and one for ShadowDark, or specifically Darkspace. I haven't looked at either of these, but this is slightly longer. These are both oh, okay. That's weird. The ShadowDark one comes in at 21 page, I should say Darkspace. It's a great game, Darkspace. And actually, Darkspace is space ShadowDark, and it links very well to AetherDark. It's a very good, both those books, if you want sci-fi, space horror, space fantasy, those are the 2 books that you need to be looking at if you want to keep within the ShadowDark rule space. But here's an adventure here for it. Again, really struggled for time. We've still got another, 57 books to look through, which is, I'm saying I haven't got time to even record this today. It's, I'm trying to keep it short. I should probably talk less, but these are 2 adventures, whether you like Mothership or something. And if it's up there with The Cursed Place, I will be covering these at some stage. Now, Erudite DM, the other book that he sent me is Warhorse. This is actually out, and I can show you this one. And this is all about horses, okay? And it does include a one-shot adventure at the end. Now, I'm going to show a bit of this because I haven't recorded it yet because I'm going to do both back to back. I'm not sure whether I'm going to do them as one video or not. But this basically covers if you've wanted to have horse traveling, combat, jousting, that sort of thing, and have people falling off horses, but how they train horses. This is all in it. It's got loads of stats for horses, how they're going to react in combat. They've got specific rules for when they take damage in combat. It's really, really good. I didn't know what to expect. You see the Warhorse thing. Oh, it's a book about horses. How can you make a book about horses interesting? By doing it like this. That's genuinely how you do it. And he's even got his own gods and some equine specific magic. Then finally, because lots of people tell me that I need to get hold of Warlock, here's a PDF copy of Warlock that I've got that I haven't looked at. I I just don't have time. I generally don't have time for everything that I'm being sent and picking up and buying at this moment in time. But so this is a review preview. You know, these things, if I like them, they will come out. I've just noticed that I've got the PDF the wrong way around there. So there you go. That's better. That now looks more booky. But that is the end of this. I say Warlock say it's something that I keep saying. So I will do a review of Warlock at some stage. Okay. So where are the other 57 books, you say? Now I'm going to show you somewhere that if you haven't bought this already, then you're going to go and spend $30 odd, because this is kind of the best humble bundle that I've seen, and I can just blast through this without actually going explaining what I bought, because I'm just going to scroll down and you can see. And humble bundle, if you've never used it, you 3 different pledge levels here. So $11 will get you 19 books. Sorry, £11 will get you 19 books, which is about $15. 18.24 will get you 38 books, and £30, give or take, is about $40. Will get you the full 57 books. And there's actually more than 57 in here, because some of the PDFs have actually got more stuff in here. You can do more, and obviously if you play more, you still get the same amount of books, but the rest goes to charity. The charity for this one is where's the charity? Charity's down the bottom here. We've got Children's Miracle Network Hospital, so it's always a good cause to go. So I'm just going to show you. These are, some of these will be future reviews, some of them I might not even like, and you'll never hear from on the channel again. But where I got sidetracked is I started reading, because these are all cool rule books. So if you want a huge boost into getting into role playing, just go and spend $40. Go and do this. I'm going to say maybe spend 45, 50, do a little bit for charity. But Avatar Legends, Transformers, Modern Age. I'd never actually heard of Apocalypse World. Cyberpunk Red, an amazing game. Savage Worlds, we've just talked about it. Warhammer Fantasy Role-Playing 4th Edition, one of the best games of all time. Spire, it's a good game. Punk is Dead, don't know. I had a quick look at it. Wild Sea, everyone tells me, again, this is another one of those that you should play. So I've got Wild Sea now. Mazes is quite interesting. Looked at that at the UK Expo. Dishonored by Modifius. I think that's probably a 2D20 system, so I might like it. They Came from the Sea. Looks like a Cthulhian B-movie type thing. Cthulhu, Keeper's Side. Shield Maidens, which I've sort of been interested at looking at for a while. I like my Viking stuff. So, and it's there, and I think there's the core rule book as well in here. Household, people talk about that being good. Knights Black Agents, they did a Kickstarter. There was a humble bundle for that it's, I think the rules are a little bit harder to get into, but again, we'll have a look. Dragonbane, amazing game. Cypher System, amazing. Root, great board game. Don't know anything about the game. G.I. Joe, this was the first thing I read. Really reminded me of being younger. My brother and I used to play G.I. Joe. I think it was called Action Force, which we called the figures in this country. It looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. Threefold here, which is a campaign setting for Modern Age. Under the Hills, didn't know anything about it. The Witcher, great game. Rifts, conversion for Savage Worlds. Doctor Who 2nd Edition. And then this is wonderful art as well. Rhapsody of Blood. Be Like a Cat. Slug Blaster, haven't looked at this. Homeworlds, haven't looked at it. Kobolds Ate My Baby. Trinity Continuum. Basic role-playing, D100, really good system. Yeah, the Shield Maidens here, which is the game, I think this is Player's Guide. Outgunned, Mutant City Blues, Vesson, Tidal Blades Mask, Power Rangers, Threefold, which is some more for Modern Age. The King is Dead, Castle Falkenstein, more a high school sort of setting for Savage Worlds. Doctor Who 2nd Edition start set. Goblins, Be Like a Crow, which is a solo game. Pro Patrimori, that's probably not right. We know it's not right. Machines and Engines here. It was 2D20 again. Scion, Sentai and Sensibility. RuneQuest. None of my friends like RuneQuest. I like RuneQuest. More shit. Oh, Shield Maiden soundtrack. Memento Mori. Fear Itself. Symbaroum. The Devil May Die. Now, if you haven't already got this, then, well, you know, I had a chunk of these already. and it's still absolutely, I think, possibly the best value for money I've ever seen on Humble Bundle. So go and grab it. Go and grab that. So that's it. That's all the stuff going in. So I just want to talk about what John and I talked about in the interview. One of the things, the kindred spirit, was things that role players have in common. And we just talking, and similar to friends. So I'm going to throw out a list of a few things that I like doing, and I kind of, for fun, again, like the one when we're looking at the collections. Let's look at the sort of things that we have in common, because I know a lot of people in this hobby like rock music. Okay, and now I'm not going to get into what is type of rock. Is Metallica rock or thrash or whatever it may be. But I grew up listening. Well, I grew up. I like things like back in the 80s. Things like Poison, Motley Crue, all the way up to sort of more modern music now, and rock bands. That everything escapes me in my head, because that's what happens when the camera comes on. So I'm just happy to listen to that sort of music. A lot of us seem to work out and do martial arts. Those things tend to be heavily linked. Obviously, take for granted reading. We do tend to read outside of the hobby, but I think it tends to be types of books. Your David Gemmell's, your Tolkien's, those sort of fantasy books that people read, as well as sci-fi. Collectible card games is a hobby, like Magic the Gathering. For years we played Jihad, which was the Vampire the Masquerade, and there was Rage, the role-playing one. There was one that Mutant Chronicles did in the 90s. Like every role-playing game seemed to be bringing out a collectible card game that ran alongside it. Board games goes hand in hand pretty much. A lot of us seem to be board gamers as well. And then I kind of threw out one at the bottom. Obviously there's this, reading sci-fi and fantasy, and watching that predominantly from movies. But there was another one that and this seems to be, and I don't know whether this is because a lot of Americans, because I think you still have national service out there. But a lot of you seem to talk about military and things that you did in the military. I was going in the military after university, and then my shoulder is completely broken, and then I re-broke it again in the dojo. I actually had my shoulders pinned, so I couldn't go in the army for weird reasons. Who doesn't want someone whose shoulder just keeps breaking? And then I got back into martial arts, and then in doing Aikido training, it was a mixed martial arts with different sort of disciplines, if that makes sense. This was like Muay Thai that I was doing at the same time, as well as karate, as well as Aikido, because it was fun. And I ended up breaking the pins out of my shoulder, and the surgeon, weirdly, it was about 20 years later when I had the second surgery. It was the same surgeon that did it, and he basically went, if this happens again, if you break these pins out ever again, I need a plastic shoulder. Because what they ended up doing was cutting my collarbone off and then screwing chunks of my collarbone across my shoulder to keep my shoulder from just popping out. It's amazing what they can do. I'm almost a cyborg. So that was the thought. Do I? No. So yeah, those are the few things that I do. It's a bit of a silly one this week, because it's just really running short on time to sort of throw something together. But yeah, talking to John, it's like, similar music, sci-fi, fantasy stuff, working out, martial arts, military, reading, CCGs. I've missed out. Comics. Did you all read comics when you were younger? And Final Fantasy books. I think we've got a type, possibly. But I don't know. I'm going to try to keep up with these things that I do, because I do enjoy them. So it's very stressful trying to come up with a topic of conversation. So if you think things, either put it down in the description of the video, in the comments of the description, or come onto my Discord and throw me some ideas, because I like doing this. It's good fun. But yeah, I'm going to have to leave it, because I've got to go out for the day, and I'm looking at the time, and we probably should have left already. I just said to my wife, one video and then we'll go. So if you're still here, thank you for watching, as ever, for all the support that you give me. Please, if you're new to me, please do consider like, share and subscribe to the channel. Come and find me on any of my socials, Discord, X, Blue Sky, I don't know, Blue Sky, Facebook, and TikTok. I'm a TikTok sensation. I've just broken 200 TikToks. people. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.